have 3-time guest now,
Oh
Miss
boy.
Chonda Pierce.
Thank
Chonda,
you.
thank you so much for coming back on and
I can't believe
dealing with us.
I haven't worn out my welcome yet. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
We see you survived the big eclipse that happened a few weeks back.
Oh, don't even talk about it. I'm so disappointed. I thought Jesus was going to come, and I was so sad. I didn't even buy the glasses because I thought, doesn't matter. I ruined my eyes. I'm going to heaven. And I hate these people, and I hate people that say this might be the day that Jesus comes and then they just messed it up because we're not supposed to know the day or the hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably made some money on T-shirts.
Probably somebody did. I didn't. I didn't have the glasses or anything. I just sat out on the porch and tried to put my phone under where you could look in your phone and then it would look up, I don't know. I probably ruined my phone for all I know, but I saw it just a little bit. I saw it when it was covering the sun, and then it got a lot of cloud coverage here in Nashville, so I didn't see it much.
Yeah.
Much to do about nothing.
Well, how's life been since the last time we talked to you? Last time we talked to you, you had a movie coming out with let's see, Let's Roll or Roll.
Roll with it.
Roll with it. Yes.
Roll with it.
With Chris Dowling.
Yeah,
and,
he's so sweet.
Yeah.
He's so sweet.
How's life been since then?
Good. I'm working, touring. This tour is really killing me. I'm getting too old for this. And now Roll With It is being streamed on Prime. I think in June you can buy it on a DVD. Who does that anymore? No one. Yeah. So I'm not going to, be buying, a new car off of that little paycheck. But yeah, it was really fun to do it. And I think my little town, that's what really matters. I filmed it in my little town. And so they loved it. Oh, watch this. What? I'm upside down now. Oh, I'm upside down. Sorry. The dog keeps irritating me, but yeah, it was fun to do. And now it's out streaming, and now I'm in the middle of a tour, about 36 cities, about almost 2/3 of the way over, I think, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I love my job. I'm just so tired of traveling. Just so tired.
Yeah.
I notice every time I'm home, oh, my hand keeps getting in the way. Sorry. Look, you can read my palm. When I'm home and it's time to pack up, it gets harder and harder to pack up, and more at last minute. You know what I mean? You just put it off and put it off. And that's not a good sign when you especially care about what you do as ministry. But it's also a sign that I am 64.
Yeah.
And I fell off the tub a few weeks ago and broke my back. I've cracked 2 vertebrae in my back. So that hasn't made it very easy either. Yeah.
Well, I mean, your next movie, you should get a hold of the Irwin brothers. They're doing movies about everybody's life. Chonda, you have a pretty interesting life.
I already did it. I did a movie. I've had 3 documentaries. One wasn't really about me, but the one Laughing in the Dark, and there's one called Enough, and they were about me. I think that's enough. Yeah. There's enough of me.
Well, who would play in a movie?
Do what?
Who would play you in a movie?
Oh gosh, what's that? That chubby girl? That's she's lost a lot of weight now.
Whoopi Goldberg?
No. What's her name? She was in Bridesmaid, even though we're not supposed to watch Bridesmaids. The chubby.
Are you talking about Rebel Wilson?
No. What's her name?
Melissa
She was
McCarthy?
in a movie. Melissa McCarthy. She should play me. If it's
there you go.
If the setting is now, if it's me when I was a kid, who knows? Oh, my story does not need to be a movie.
Yeah.
We need more encouraging movies out there. Yeah.
So during all that time, how in the world did you have the time to write Life is Funny Until It's Not?
I've been writing it for 64 years. So, you start adding it, but I did have help, a wonderful lady named Alice Kreider and a wonderful man named John Max. Great ghost writers. We're not supposed to speak of them because they're ghosts, but they were really great. And it really helped me, and it was really interesting because one had the thought of let's don't do this chronologically, let's go in a different direction. But I have such ADD anyway. I have to do chronologically, or I'm just so disorganized. But it was the hardest book I've ever written in my life. It'll probably be the last book I will ever write. I really do think about retiring. And I say that, and every pastor friend I have will call me yet again and tell me. I put that on Facebook one time, and James Robinson called me from Life Today. Chonda, go in there and take that off your Facebook right now. There is no retirement in the kingdom of God. And I'm like, yeah, but there's a lot of tired in the kingdom of God. And I am tired. I'm clinically depressed. I'm professionally depressed. So I have to be very, very careful about the season of my life when you're working too hard or you're not paying attention to all your safeguards that you have in place when you struggle with depression. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, I do really good. But when your body gets really, really overly tired, that's not good for depression. It's not good for anything, really. Yeah. And I just know that touring is just getting tougher and tougher. Yeah. I'm just old.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into your book a little bit, if you don't mind.
Oh, help us, Jesus.
There's interesting parts, and I want to ask you a question. You discuss family secrets that you kept as a child. Why was that important for you to share these secrets now?
I think mainly because there are others that do the same thing. And sometimes, I know this for a fact, when you're dealing with depression or sin, everything that you drag out of the dark has no more power over you in the light. Mm-hmm. And so the things that you stuff away and that you hide away. Now, my fans, the people who've been so gracious to me for 32 years, they already know most of it. You know what I mean? It's easier to disclose things when you're looking at the white of people's eyes sitting on a stage. But to disclose it in a book is hard because you don't know who's going to read it or how they're going to perceive it because they can't hear your voice inflection. They can't hear. Sorry, I have to shut this because the bugs are getting in. Sorry, this is life. ADD. You don't know how they're going to perceive it. And so that's scary to write it all out. At the same time, some of it was easier to write now because everybody's dead. You just don't risk. You can't hurt the feelings of people that are dead. And it's not that I want to hurt their feelings, but I never wanted to be the one that would hinder anyone's, coming back to the Lord or anybody's walk with the Lord or disclose any more of anyone else's mental state but my own, but in order to disclose some things about yourself, you have to be willing to explain where some of this thought process comes from. And so some of the secrets in my childhood is where some of this thought process comes from, where I am, where my brokenness comes from. And my husband was a great writer. He used to always say to his class and to me, show, don't tell. In other words, write the story out that shows where that dysfunction must have come from. And there was a lot of that in this book. Yeah.
They agree.
They agree.
What? So Chonda, there's people that, have a lot of family secrets that they've experienced. What advice would you give to someone that's scared to but wants to share and like freedom that people get when they finally get that off their chest, something that's been bothering them for years, like you were talking about with abuse or whatever?
Yeah, the best thing is, first of all, evaluate the reason why you want to get that off your chest. If it's something that is reoccurring in your life, if there's a pain, or if there's someone that you're afraid of, or there's something that just keeps reoccurring, you can't sleep, it's enumeration just goes on and on from negative thoughts, then find a great counselor, somebody that will help you discern some of that. What you share publicly is how the Lord uses our testimony. You know, the Bible is filled with really broken people.
Mm-hmm.
With, Paul. I think of Paul because I have Ephesus hat on. When he was Saul, he was a bad man, a really bad man. And then the Lord transformed his life and he became Paul. But he still, I'm sure, had those moments, and maybe that was the thorn in his flesh. He had those moments of what gave him nightmares, what he remembered, what was sad about him. Maybe the thorn in his flesh was shame that he carried from what he had done when he was Saul. So when dealing with those kinds of issues, it's imperative that you tell your story to someone. Not every detail is going to be for the public. I think, what's very difficult, I told a lot, probably more. I probably am still worried. The book hits the stands May the 7th. I'm very nervous. Tomorrow, there's a big article in my newspaper here in Tennessee, the Tennessean, and I'm nervous about it. So I don't know. I don't know how it will be received. I just know that at this time in my life and in the thought of winding this whole thing down, it was important for me to get a lot of things out and said. I've spent 32 years doing what I do. I've told funny, hilarious things about my mother. I've told funny, hilarious things about being a preacher's kid. I've also alluded to some of the not so funny. But I don't think I've ever been one that told my bad stuff, if that makes sense. And I didn't want to die without being honest. I don't want to be put up as some iconic person. I have grandchildren that someday will read this, and I want them to know the truth about their grandmother, that I wasn't perfect, but I was a girl that just sought after God and loved God so much. Even in my own mistakes, I still held on to God, and he held on to me. Yeah. Hello?
Dead.
Chris?
There was a big thud. Yeah.
What was that, Jacob?
I said, thank God for post-editing.
Oh, really? Okay, good. Yeah, because of dead air. We hate dead air.
Jacob, you're gonna. Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep going until Chris gets figuring out. Well, Chonda, you talked about in your book and about, you say tragedy plus time equals comedy, but for you it's comedy plus time equals relief.
Yes.
Explain that.
When you are using the comedy as a way to deflect your pain, that's probably not so healthy. But there's a sweetness that comes along after time has passed, and what you thought was you could never chuckle about, you find yourself chuckling. That's a sweet, sweet sign of healing, and that is comic relief. That's the good stuff. That's the sweet spot. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think are some ways?
Here, I think there was a time I used my humor was a great deflection, and that's not, it's just not healthy. I could tell you stories I used to tell all the time when I was first starting out that I don't ever use anymore because I don't have to.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of healing and time passed that will, hey, Teresa, I'm not make that funny anymore. Yeah. I'm not sure I'm that funny anymore.
So what have you done to help make humor shift the stress during difficult times? How have you used humor to shift that mindset?
Well, I have my therapist on speed dial. That's the first thing. And my pastor. There is no the Bible says laughter doeth good like a medicine. So it is that experience of air flowing out of you and your endorphins moving that creates medicine in your body, that things begin to heal and things move and motivate. But if you're the one that's dispersing words so that people will laugh, some of those words need some healing behind them first, for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can spot a lot of comics out there if you follow some of your favorite comics. Some of them have this real anger, I mean, when they're talking, they like, what's that guy's name? I don't even know if he's doing comic, but Dane Cook, maybe that's his name.
Yeah.
He used to just always sound like he's mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what are you mad at? You know what I mean? There are people that's their style. They just have that style. Brad Stein is a great Christian comic. He has this like mad at the world, and I tease him all the time going, stop being so mad. And then he's not angry, but that's his, the way he expresses himself. And there's a lot of that. I think it's probably a lot of people getting out, stuff, it is certainly a technique,
Yeah.
But as for me, I needed, I'm not that deep. I'm not that deep of a comic. You can slip on a banana peel and you had me at hello,
That's great. Well, Chonda, what do you hope that readers will take away from reading your book besides calling their therapist?
Exactly. Maybe maybe that's a good idea. Yeah. In Christendom, we have a tendency to present our life with Christ as come to know Jesus and everything will be perfect. And it's such a lie.
Yeah.
Our life will never be perfect. We're not in heaven. Things are always going to be a little difficult. That's just where we are. But Jesus will help make sense of it all. You know what I mean? He will bring peace in the midst of it all. And so maybe people, when read this, they'll go, there's some stuff I've been stuffing for a long time. I got to get this stuff out. Or maybe also they read it and go, I don't believe I'll go down that path. That was awful.
Yeah.
And I was very honest about that. I think I went through a spell when my husband died of trying to figure out who I am again.
Yeah.
Am I Chonda Courtney again now that I'm not married? Or what was this alcohol all about? And I toyed with that going, well, he drank it, so I'm going to drink it. I'm going to just see what this was. I think there was a lot of that daredevil middle child of me in this healing process of trauma. And I had a lot of trauma in my childhood and in my life. And in the healing process, I think there's been a lot of that daredevil middle child trying to figure it out. And I was just really honest in the book of here's what I figured out well. Here's how I figured it out the wrong way. Here's how I figured some things out the right way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like you should record an audio book version of your book.
No, everybody keeps saying that.
Well, you even said you can't hear the
right,
the writer's voice. Yes.
Yeah.
And that would be
perfect.
Know.
It would be. It would take days. It's hard. It would be hard. It would be hard.
Sure. Maybe you can call Morgan Freeman and he can do it.
Wouldn't that be great? His voice and my story. That'd be a little freaky.
That would be weird.
I think we need Tweety Bird to read it or something. Yeah.
I mean, people that buy a copy of your book, you can give them a gift certificate to one of those rage rooms too, so they can go and break stuff.
Oh, really? Well, thank you for your reaction, Jacob.
Have you ever heard of those rage rooms?
No. One time my therapist had me take a swing at the couch with the baseball bat. But
Chonda, you can go to these places, kind of like an escape room, but they're called rage rooms. And you go in, and you have to wear jeans and stuff like that. But they have glass, they have TVs, they have all kinds of stuff. And they have
smash,
break. Yeah.
Well, they have that at a lot of psychiatric hospitals too, if you want to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, We are
Well,
going to play a little game.
uh-oh.
Every time we have you on, we like to play something with you,
Oh, help us.
and we're gonna test your Bible knowledge.
Oh, brother, here we go.
So this game is called Bible or Movie Quote, and we're going
Okay.
to give you either a Bible verse or a quote from a movie, and you got to tell us if it's a Bible or a movie quote.
Okay, ready.
All right.
Ready.
All right. The first one is, I was formed before ancient times, from the beginning, before the earth.
You're breaking up.
Oops.
You're breaking up.
Yeah,
Can you
all
hear
I
me?
heard, I was formed at ancient times, which that was a quote from my mother. So,
I was formed before ancient times, from the beginning, before the earth began. Is this from the Bible or a movie quote?
well, it's very similar to a verse in the Bible, but I'm saying that's a movie quote.
Well, it is from Proverbs 8,
Oh, is it?
verse
Is it
23.
really? Is that the King
Yes.
James? No one reads the King James
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, what version is this?
I knew when you said ancient times, it had to be like a version I never read.
Yeah.
You're truly a Baptist, Jacob.
All right, we'll go to the next one. Okay, so as God is my witness, I'll never be hungry again.
Oh, that's going with the wind, good gravy train.
Yeah.
Woo!
I will never be poor again.
All right, here's the next one. Before I tell you any more, I'm going to show you the greatest thing your eyes have ever beheld. He was a king and the
You're breaking up. He was a king. Start there.
He was a king and a god in the world he knew.
I say that's a movie quote. Really? Yeah.
Movie, 1933's King Kong.
Oh, dear Lord. 1933. How old do you guys think I am?
All right, moving right along then. Brothers, what do we do in life echoes in any... Wow, let me redo this one. This one might be KJV.
Yeah.
What we do in life echoes in eternity.
Wow. If it's not in the Bible, it should be. It's either that or the Lord of the Rings. That's in the Bible.
It is a movie. It's The Gladiator.
The Gladiator. Oh, that was such a good movie.
Yeah.
But they probably stole it from something in the Bible.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right.
Like all these songwriters that use the Bible in their songs.
Yeah.
They just stole all those lyrics from King David. They're going to owe somebody a royalty.
Oh yeah.
All right, next one. Devise a plan, it will fail. Make a prediction, it will not happen.
Well, that could be the Message Bible for sure. I say
it is Bible.
Yeah, it's the Bible.
Isaiah.
Yeah. That's a poster that says, when you think you know what you're doing or something, tell God what you think or something. It's really up.
Have you heard of the new Gen Z version that's out?
Oh, yes. Help us, Jesus. Jesus needs to come. That's just awful.
I don't know what's worse though, is I read like a few excerpts and I understood them.
Yes.
And I was kind of disappointed.
I bet you did.
I was disappointed in myself. I was like, oh no.
I heard a pastor quoting some of it in his skinny jeans, and that just did me in right there, though.
All right, let's move along. So this one is, there is nothing free except the grace of God.
Well, that's in the Bible in so many words.
True.
Yeah.
It was from the quote here is from the movie True Grit.
Wow. That was a good movie. I mean, if you're into R-rated shoot 'em up movies.
You know, we promote all types on here, Chonda.
I guess.
All right, next one. A king's fury is a messenger of death. But a why?
Nope.
But a
Yeah, keep going again. But a wise what?
But a wise person appeases it.
I'd say that's probably a proverb somewhere.
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Proverbs 16.
Yeah.
All right, we have a couple more. So let's see. His eyes were like a flame of fire. His feet were like burnished bronze, refined in a furnace, and his voice was like the roar of many waters.
That's the Antichrist in the book of Revelations. Or the Democratic primary.
That is a revelation. Yes.
That's good. All right, here's the next
Right.
one. I wanted a mission.
You gotta start over again. Start over.
I wanted a mission, and for my sins, they gave me one.
Oh, that's not in the Bible. What is it?
It is
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't in the Bible.
Well, Chonda,
Jeez.
you passed.
Thank
You did
you.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is crazy how many verses or movie quotes kind of sound like
Sound like
verses,
Bible.
you know?
Well, that's where the most, I think a lot of people read the Bible to get good movie ideas because hardly nothing else is done. Except for the idiots that just redid Noah. That was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
I have not watched it yet.
Oh my God. It's that guy that Australian guy. He played
Russell
Noah and it's
Crowe.
like, what? Yes. Oh Lord. It's just the stupidest thing.
You know what podcast you should start listening to is Blurry Creatures. I think you'd like that one.
Blurry Creatures? Yeah. I don't listen to podcasts like I should. My son
Except for
listens
ours.
to them. I listen to your podcast all the time. Oops, sorry. But my son is a podcaster. He listens all the time to all kinds.
Yeah.
But he listens. I know Joe Rogan's the big podcast dude. But yeah, he listens to Dana. I do listen to that sometimes if they don't cuss too much. Dana Carvey and
Yes.
Dana
Fly on the wall.
Yeah.
They make fun of a president on there, and then one does a pretty good impression of him.
All of them do. Yeah, all of them do. Yeah. Well, it's good seeing you guys. I'm glad you're still going at it with this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where can people go ahead?
No, you go ahead.
The copy of your book, Life is Funny Until It's Not.
Well, and interestingly, on Amazon, it's number 2 right now, and it's number 6 on Kindle, and it's not even out yet. I think it comes out May the 7th.
Yeah.
Or you can get it very sneakily in my barn, and also at concerts.
There you go.
Yeah, so we're actually coming to the May 17th show when you come to Louisville to see you.
Really? That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I never have people come to see. Oh, well, I mean, I have ticket people, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Which are the most important.
Yeah.
But it is fun.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to see you, so that'd be nice.
Good. I'm so glad.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
awesome.
more. We'll be the only men in the place, probably.
Well, there'll be about 5. That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, Chonda, to wrap up, we'd like to see if you'd be willing to share something that God's been doing in your life recently that would help build our viewers and listeners' faith.
You know what I hope, and it really kind of stems back from this. No one wants to sit down and write the toughest and the dearest things to their lives in a book unless it might help someone coming up the road. And my journey has been rather messy, but God has still been very, very faithful. And that's what you hope that shows, especially in my life right now. There's been things I've been praying about for years and years that I slowly see a light at the end of the tunnel, and God sends those little reminders that he's still listening and he still sees you where you are. The toughest thing in the world right now is that people might believe a lie that God is not at work in their lives, and that's a lie. Yeah. The world is in a tough place, but there's nothing in this world that surprises God, and there's nothing that's not been already handled in the Bible. And so cling to the word of God. It's your foundation of your life.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Well, life is funny
Yeah.
until it's not. A comic story of love,
Yep.
loss, and lunacy. May the 7th.
That's it.
Be
That's
sure to
it.
get it.
We're excited.
Thank you, guys. It's good to see you both.